Welcome, everybody, to the Buddhist Recovery Network Academy. I am Susanna. I'm joining you from Espoo, Finland, and I will be your host today. I'm a big fan of Buddhism, recovery, and Buddhist recovery. I facilitate both 8-step recovery meetings and mindfulness-based addiction recovery courses here in Finland. I'm a member of the board of the Buddhist Recovery Network, and thus I'm doing this service as your host tonight. So tonight we have, or today, we have a new academy teaching offered by Cano. The pronouns are she and her. Thanks for the offering and joining us today. And the topic of the teaching is in the season of fire. I will tell you more about Carol and the teaching in just a moment. And about Dana. All of our teachings are given freely, and we are blessed with some amazing teachers who have experience on the cushion, experience working with body, speech, and mind, experience in the ongoing practice of recovery by way of the Dharma. As we practice the Buddha's teaching of generosity, we invite you to give dana that will be given to support our ongoing Buddhist Recovery Network meetings and to support the teacher. You can give on a one-time or recurring basis using the link posted in the chat field. So Vince, if you would post the dana link to the chat field at this point already. Please be sure to indicate that your donation is for the Academy, and we sincerely thank you for your generosity. So Carol Cano, NA, began her practice over 30 years ago at Wat Kov Tham in Thailand. Sorry about pronunciation, if that was not correct, and has actively engaged in building communities and teaching Dharma internationally. She has completed a myriad of training programs at Spirit Rock Meditation Center and is currently participating in their retreat teacher training. Carol is a core teacher and was a former board member of East Bay Meditation Center. Carol co-founded Philippine Insight Meditation Community in Philippines. Her unique teachings are deeply grounded in Basque, Native American, and Buddhist influences that braid the Dharma along indigenous, sorry, my pronunciation, wisdom and earth-based practices. Carol reminds us to keep grounded in our hearts as we uphold spiritual ideals and encourages us to remain balanced within the demands of modern life. To find out more about Carol, please visit www.carolcano.com. And as said before, the topic of the teaching is in the season of fire. The teaching is an introduction of the fire sermon from the teachings of the Buddha and how it is relating to these current times. And I'm sorry about my pronunciation. Like I said, you know, English is not my first language, but let me present our teacher tonight. Carol, the screen is all yours. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. It's really lovely to be here. And thank you for the generous welcome. Again, Carol Cano, she, her, calling in from the unceded Ramaytush Ohlone territory known as San Francisco. And it's wonderful to be here with all of you. I would love to get us started in a little bit of guided meditation, just for some who may have arrived and this may be your first time. In fact, it would be lovely to see for all of us, if you'd like to raise your hand, who is first time here in this meeting. Oh, super welcome. Wonderful, wonderful. And any first time meditators? Yeah, I see all the hands, wonderful. How about first time meditators? Okay, thank you. And welcome. And it always takes courage to what I would call, taking that one seat, the seat that we're in. to just pause and be with ourselves. So get in a comfortable position. You know, we have 4 universal postures. So I invite you to any one of them that meets you in your energy that you have in this moment, whether it's lying down, whether it's sitting, whether it's standing, whether if there's too much energy, maybe even walking. So just, you know, you can have a soft gaze down on the floor, or if your practice allows you for an open eye meditation, by all means, you're invited, or just close your eyes and take a few deep breaths, softening the belly, just really connecting with being here and now in this moment. Connecting with the breath and the body. And really grounding into this moment to moment process of just acknowledging the shift of coming into the Zoom room for this 1 hour together, recognizing what's here. And for those who this is the first time meditating mindfulness, I invite you to either anchor with your breath, if that's helpful, or sound, or a place in your body such as the feet or hands, a place that doesn't have too much sensation. The breath and the body and sound all live right here and now. There is no right way or wrong way. We're just being in this moment to moment process. I'd like to invite quality of mind that is open receptive, alert. As we settle into this session together. And as we come to an end for this meditation session, just slowly acknowledging departing from the session and arriving to listening to the Dharma teaching, acknowledging the transition as you slowly open your eyes. Or you may want to keep them closed, but just slowly coming back to the Zoom room collectively. And if you like, you can listen with your eyes closed, whatever is comforting you. I would like to bring in the fire sermon Sutta from Nana Moli Thara. And I really want to read it because it's really a beautiful practice to read the sutta on a Sunday morning. Just feels right, perfectly in this moment, appropriate. So as the Buddha is addressing the bhikkhus and bhikkhus, I will go back and forth as I do this sutta and may change the pronouns and may say bhikkhu, bhikkhunis, going like that, just to keep it all inclusive. So bhikkhu, bhikkhunis, all is burning. What is the all that is burning? The eyes are burning. Forms are burning. Eye consciousness is burning. Eye contact is burning. Also, whatever is felt as pleasant or painful, or neither painful nor pleasant, that arises with eye contact, for it is indispensable condition. That too is burning. Burning with what? Burning with the fire of lust, burning with the fire of hate, burning with the fire of delusion. I say it is burning with birth, aging, and death, with sorrows, with lamentations, with pain, with grief, with despair. The ear is burning. Sounds are burning. The nose is burning. Odors are burning. The tongue is burning. Flavors are burning. The body is burning. Tangibles are burning. The mind is burning. Ideas are burning. Mind consciousness is burning. Mind contact is burning. Also, whatever is felt as pleasant or painful, or neither painful nor pleasant, that's what is burning. Burning with the fire of lust, with the fire of hate, with the fire of delusion. I say it is burning with birth, aging, and death, with sorrow, with lamentation, with pain, with grief, and with despair. Bhikkhus, bhikkhunis, when a noble follower who has heard the truth sees thus, they find estrangement in their eyes, finds estrangement in form, finds estrangement in eye consciousness, finds estrangement in eye contact, and whatever is felt as pleasant or painful, or neither pleasant nor painful, that arises with eye contact, for it is indispensable condition, and that too they find estrangement. He finds estrangement in the ear and sound. He finds estrangement in the nose and odors. He finds estrangement in the tongue and flavors. He finds estrangement in the body, intangibles. He finds estrangement in the mind, finds estrangement in ideas, finds estrangement in mind consciousness, finds estrangement in mind contact, and whatever is felt as pleasant or painful, or neither painful nor pleasant, that arises with the mind contact, for it is indispensable condition. And that too, they find estrangement. When they find estrangement, passion fades out. When passion fades, they are liberated. When liberated, there is knowledge that there is liberation. He understands birth is exhausted. The holy life has been lived out, and what can be done is done. Of there is no more beyond. Of this, there is no more beyond. That is what the Blessed One said. The bhikkhus and bhikkhunis were glad, and they approve of his words. Now during his ultimates of his heart, and those 1,000 bhikkhunis were liberated from the tanks through the clinging no more. So this sutra, also translated by a dear friend and teacher, Ton Jeff, as we know him as Ajahn Thanissaro. He speaks a lot about the unboundness of the fire. His examples that he gives here in this sutta, his translation of it is really has to believe that the fire was on fire and it was dependent on the fuel. And that is clinging. The fuel is the clinging, the unstable, dependent, not separate from burning a piece of wood. Though that's what we're like when we're dependent on an idea of something or happening to make it happy, or the body's process, body-mind process was viewed as fuel. So the word clinging is used as fuel. So I am clinging. So it's almost as if, when the Buddha was speaking to this clinging, and we're hearing the words of as if it's the fire, wood, the fuel, where all is on fire. So when the body-mind process is no longer the fuel, there is no clinging. There's liberation, there's freedom from that clinging. So for me, when I think about, this fire is a purpose, it's just this, where are we caught in this wheel of samsara? Where are we caught? Where are we grasping or clinging to? Where we're tightening our minds, our rigidity? Because, we start to be fixed on an idea, right? And the idea relates to the mind consciousness as a way of also perception. And so, our perception is how we perceive ourselves in the way of suffering and the way of being caught in this wheel of samsara. And then, for me, it starts to the ball rolling down the hill, just really being caught and having a fixed idea or way of, of how it should be or how it shouldn't be in terms of suffering. But sometimes, getting caught in that creates more suffering, so, and yet many of us understand this perception of understanding to feel maybe, we can even see our, one's recovery as a way of clinging to a certain structure or a certain way for survival. But as soon as we hold too tight, what is left out? You know, it's in that, holding on to maybe a fixed idea or a fixed perception. We may, lose the moment of what is present or to even feel. I mean, that's what I love about the practice of mindfulness, is that we're really practicing seeing what is so, what is here. And through that practice of the experience through the body, we experience the body, we go through the gate of the body allows us to see, the body tells us, just like a toddler tells us what's here. I'm hungry, I need to go to the restroom, I need to be, taken care of, I need sleep, whatever the body allows us. It doesn't time travel like the mind does. The body lives in the here and now. And, when we go into this understanding of being with what's here and understanding, maybe because of the 4 mindfulness, foundations of mindfulness, the first one is body, really understanding what's here, but also what, this sutta is speaking to. It's through those 6 sense doors that we can either be liberated or either see where we're caught and what is perpetuating more suffering. And, so I love the second, foundation of mindfulness, this feeling tone that was spoken to, pleasure, what's pleasant, unpleasant, neither, painful or pleasant. And understanding that through these feeling tones and this embodied experience, that we can liberate moment to moment ourselves and understanding what's here, what's so, through those 6 sense doors. And, then it moves into the realm of, the third, which is mind states. And then through that goes into emotions. And then I just refer you to Villamasaru's book on detoxing the heart. That's beautifully written around all of that. And even the practice of I love how she spoke to, fire in terms of anger and rage, and, the method and the framework that's there around that. So what is on fire? Well, we know that the world's on fire. I teach that all the time. I don't have to. But every day there's something new, some form of fire happening externally that may or may not influence us. Are we feeling into it? Does it have an impact? I know recently I've been working a lot with land conservation organizations and land trust and conflict and tension, and really helping people, address the climate crisis they're on in their location. And all of them all say they have to prepare because they've seen so much change in terms of their method of farming. So it's like we need each other. We all need to be at the table. And what's interesting, just hearing that, and then at the same time reading, yesterday I was reading that in Fiji, there will be 6 islands that will have to be forcibly relocated because it's sinking due to climate crisis. And the elders of those islands are like, I want to die here. This is my ancestral land. So the changes are happening. The world is on fire. Understanding our own, grasping, clinging, fixating, our own being caught in this wheel of samsara. Because it's also said in this beautifully, in the sutta of, just feeling the invitation is seeing what is so, but also recognizing to come back to the feeling tones of it, the embodied nature of it. Because when we do that, we recognize that impermanence is present. And, when I say the season of fire, I started a nonprofit called Braided Wisdom. So for us, there are many programs, and we are in the season of fire, and there are many different indigenous elders who come in and give their medicine talks around the season. And for, one medicine person in Bali would come in and say, this is a double fire year, and from the West Dogra tradition. And it started off with the bang, because in the beginning of the year, it was, we had a volcano erupted in the Pacific Ocean. So for that tradition, this is a sign, and times are changing. This pandemic, we're in our third year. Now we have another, other, virus being hit on to different populations like monkeypox. And we don't, and scientists are saying it's not going to change as the world is getting hotter, and that we're seeing these changes, and not and recognizing, as I say that, where are you in this moment? Like really scanning oneself as a moment of feeling fear or numbness, or without judgment. Because some of the voices of the indigenous, for me, are very much, speak to and also the Buddha, that we are of nature. We're no different. We're not separate. And really this coming to ourselves in this way and recognizing out externally what is going on helps us understand even further how to be with this world, ourselves as well. And that each moment is an opportunity to awaken, to get uncaught, to shift a perspective that might be too rigid, to be more open. So this season of fire, from an indigenous point of view, which I often, weave the Buddha Dharma with indigenous practices, is, fire serves two purposes. Yes, it can annihilate, and, another word for that may be purify. And yes, it is also can create. So the two purposes of this fire element is to create and to purify. And so the opportunity for me, it's like, bringing these practices as if we're, for me, when I take that one seat, I'm taking the one seat, but I'm also, the moment I take that seat, I'm reminded of all the way to the Buddha, that it's a ritual that's been happening for 2,600 years. And I take that seat, and, and I am connected to my teacher and to my teacher's teacher and their teacher's teacher, and the lineage that is held in this way, this Theravada lineage that I hold. And, it's, so I know I don't sit alone. And so when we think of these purposes of this fire from a Buddha Dharma perspective, it's looking at the consumption, it's looking at where we're caught, it's looking at our clinging, our grasping, the elements of the suffering itself. and how we can free ourselves, shine light to freeing ourselves from it. Take the time because I can talk forever. So I think for me in this season of really holding the season of fire is an amazing one. The elements is a meditation practice throughout as part of the body in the Buddha Dharma teachings. It's that first mindfulness of body. There are many practices there, the 6 sense doors, the elements. And so when you get into the element of fire, I'm sure that you may have had a guided meditation with fire. You start to see the importance of how it lives within your own body, that heat that's there, and that creates this life, this vitality, this aliveness that runs through you. And when that vitality is, lessened, or it doesn't feel like the vitality is, just maybe going out a little bit of this fire, then we would start to feel dispirited, start to feel that we're losing our life force energy, as the martial artists and Qigong masters would tell us. That vitality energy that we're born with, it starts to diminish. And for many of us, including myself, who works a lot, that vitality can get shortened and exhaustion arises. So, but this precious energy stems from the fire within. And it is no different also when we think of the fire within, is what is our purpose? This purpose to be alive and to create. My one teacher, my late beloved past elder, would say, we were brought into this world for 2 purposes: to love and to create. And I'm going to leave you with this passage from our late beloved teacher, Thich Nhat Hanh. And because I think I don't think we can get enough of this, what he's saying. Do you love yourself yet? If you don't respect yourself, it will be difficult to love and respect others or the earth. When you're caught in the idea that this body is you, or this mind is you, you underestimate your value. But when you can free yourself from the notion of self and see your body and mind as a stream of being all of your ancestors, you began to treat your body and mind with more respect. You may feel that you don't deserve love, but everyone needs love, even the Buddha. Without love, we cannot survive. So we shouldn't discriminate against ourselves. You need love. You deserve love. Everyone deserves love. Your ancestors in you all need love. So why deprive them of it? They are still alive in every cell of your body. Perhaps in their lifetime, they did not get enough love. But now we have a chance to offer them love by loving and taking care of ourselves. So when we think of this passage, just take a moment. Another practice that really just takes a few seconds is a practice of scanning right now, just listening to these words, again, without judgment and a kind heart. And just, scan to feel what sensations are moving through your body. without judgment. Maybe thoughts are arising in your mind. Again, you're just noticing. Maybe there are sensations and feeling tones going throughout different places of your body. Just again, you're noticing. And just really connecting, scanning what's here, what's true. And bringing the mind and heart aligned with this embodied moment that is present here and now. So as I leave this topic, I think for me, noticing the grasping and being caught and almost imprisoned by one's perceptions or one's clinging to whatever is, it's a very useful practice to help us recover and reclaim ourselves back, the wholeness, returning to the wholeness of who we are. So I leave with this one quote from M.C. Richards. Love is not a doctrine. Peace is not an international agreement. Love and peace are beings who live as possibilities in us. Thank you. Just leave it to open up if there are any questions.
Yeah.
I think we have a few minutes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Carol. It's just, your talk was amazing. Thanks for your wisdom and inspiration. Maybe we have a time for another question that I got anonymously. How does non-attachment lead to more love? A small question.
Well, I guess the question I would have is, how does non-attachment lead to love? Well, how, so looking at attachment as a form of love, is that love? It depends who's asking, right? But in relation to the Dharma, right? In relation to the Dharma, what is our perception of love? I would just ask
Thank
the
you.
question. Yeah.
Thank you. Then there's.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, if you want to continue.
No, I was just saying, I see Vilamasara's question is how can we use the
Yeah,
teaching
Do
of
you
the
want to
fire
address that
sermon?
one as well?
Yes, to work with our addictive behaviors. Oh my goodness. Well, that Vilamasara, as you know, would be an amazing 4-week, 6-week course of dissecting the fire sermon as it relates to addiction as well as dependent ordination, and really getting into this, clinging, consumption, addictive behavior that keeps us in this realm of samsara and suffering, but how it can begin is to start to recognize what is here and to work with that clinging, that grasping, that cycle of addiction. And also, for me, I love that it invited, it's also pointing to the 6 sense doors and working with each of those as a way that where we are caught, whether it's seeing, relating to desire or wanting. So it's really understanding our system even more and shining light of what can be worked on. And, you know, I would say maybe include your book too in that course. Detoxing the Heart would be nice.
Thank you very much, Carol, also
Mhm.
for the all these answers for the questions. And now I would start closing. So a few words about Dana at this point. Your generosity can help to strengthen the recovery community and the Growth Academy, and can be a practical expression of gratitude and metta. We invite you to practice generosity and to give Dana in support of these teachings to be shared with our teacher and with the Buddhist Recovery Network. So there will be a link in the chat that will take you to BRN website, and please indicate that your gift is for the Academy. Then there will be in the chat box also Carol's website, a link to the podcasts, previous podcasts, although it hasn't been updated in some time, and then also to the videos. And the next Academy event is on Sunday, September the 4th, with Fresh Lev White. And there is also a Facebook group. I will post that link as well if it's not there already. And please, when you come there, answer the membership questions, because otherwise we don't accept you there. And to wrap up, I would like to thank you all for joining today. May the merit gained benefit all living beings. May we all be well, happy, and peaceful.